Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. I know it's late. To my viewers in other countries, thank you so very much for watching. When people say, "Oh my God, Trump, he's ruining our republic. Everyone's laughing at us." Well, this is the mentality. This is the reason that people vote Trump is because they want something different from the usual, we just happened to engage in a failed intervention. We tried our best. To the Libyan people, we hope that 10 years and, 12 years of chaos and mayhem. No, I think it's about a decade of just horrendous mayhem and despair and chaos that we caused, under President Obama's administration. I hope that was just okay. We tried our best. Sorry, but we were presidential about it. This is why the reasons that people don't like Trump, the reasons Democrats don't like Trump, that he doesn't, revere NATO, those are the reasons that people like Trump. That's what Democrats don't understand. They don't get it. People who vote for President Trump, they're not voting for business as usual. That's the issue here. They're not voting for business as usual. So Trump administration, well, first of all, of course, there's the hot mic or whatever, Justin Trudeau. He was, talking about Trump behind his back. It's kind of hilarious, too. This is like, it's like some kind of high school with Trudeau and Boris Johnson. Well, actually, it was Trudeau and Macron. They're the cool kids. And they're talking about Trump, and they're trying to make him feel bad. Meanwhile, they all need... Okay, the United States doesn't need NATO. NATO is a relic of years past. It was designed only to counter the Soviet Union and their military alliance, the Warsaw Pact. That's it. That's the reason. So Russia is not going to invade West Germany or France or the UK or Poland. Russia has the 11th or 12th ranked economy in the world. So NATO is a way for other countries to implement their foreign policy militarily without spending the money we spend, which is basically you can add the top 9 or 10 countries, combine their military spending, and it won't even reach our military spending, something like that. So the issue is we don't need NATO. NATO is an extension of our foreign policy, but with other people. So it's a multilateral extension of our foreign policy, and other countries within NATO say, well, you know what? Like, for example, Bush's interventions weren't led by NATO, because other countries, like France, actually at that point was against it. They were right. But in Libya, France and the UK felt that their foreign policy would be furthered with a NATO intervention. So whereas they can't go at it alone, they need to use an alliance of years past. When the Berlin Wall fell, there was no need. Maybe for a couple years after that, perhaps there was still a need, but there's no need for NATO today. There are European countries that have their own military alliances. Poland has its own military alliance with 4 other countries. So aside from that, I mean, you can get into a debate. Oh, well, we need NATO. We don't need NATO. Okay. You look at the last interventions, major intervention, it's been horrendous. The daily, and I can't really get into it because of YouTube policies, but the daily military endeavors of NATO are linked back to Bush's horrendous and failed policies. The reason that there are daily and monthly NATO military endeavors in certain regions of the world is because those regions were destabilized from Bush's foreign policy. That's why people can say, well, look at what NATO's doing now without NATO. Yeah, well, the foreign policy of intervention and removing authoritarians and despots and then just saying, oops, what did we create? Okay, I guess we have to have more military interventions. That's why they're engaged in, continual military exercises today. Basically trying to fix failed policies. But anyway, this is really interesting. Trump administration to cut its financial contribution to NATO. And so this is why they say Russia wants Trump. The interesting thing is that anything that they view to benefit Russia in any way, they say, well, Russia wants it, so therefore it's bad. So what's the common denominator between Bernie Sanders, Donald Trump, Jill Stein, and Tulsi Gabbard? All people who have been accused of either being Russian operatives or being the benefactors of Russian interference. They want a foreign policy that's either the antithesis or a scaled-back foreign policy from Clinton and people like Max Boot and Bill Kristol, who want to continually engage in military quagmires, interventions, never-ending conflict. Trump wants a scaled-back U.S. foreign policy. Okay, so does Tulsi Gabbard. So does Bernie Sanders. So does Jill Stein. The difference is that President Trump has already had a tremendous victory as being the first president to step foot in North Korea. But we already spend about a quarter of NATO's budget. So Washington, the Trump administration has moved to substantially cut its contribution to NATO's collective budget, according to several. Okay, a symbolic move that comes as many continue to question President Donald Trump's commitment to the transatlantic alliance as he prepares to attend the summit on his 70th anniversary. We're still in NATO. We're not leaving NATO. We're just paying less. So if it's so important to the national security of other countries, then they should spend more. What's the problem? I know. I swear to God, I don't get this issue. I'm like, well, the other people are going to spend more. Like, well, I mean, is it important for them? Is it important for them? Well, okay. Then they're like, well, it was only supposed to be a small percentage of GDP. Well, you know what? We're spending less. Get over it. Get over it. Exactly. Zhuang Wang, yes. NATO's the cheapest army for Europeans. Exactly. But here, so previously, the U.S. provided some 22% of NATO's direct funding, which covers the cost of maintaining the NATO headquarters. Sorry. You're going to have to move into a smaller office. I don't know. Joint security investments and some combined military operations. It's a largely symbolic move, as NATO's direct budget is relatively small, about $2.5 billion, and is separate from the national budgets of NATO's budgets the NATO recommends should stand at 2% of GDP. So, okay, NATO's direct budget is relatively small, $2.5 billion, so then it shouldn't be an issue if we pay less. U.S. defense officials tell CNN Trump sought to reduce its contribution to about 16%, bringing it in line with Germany's, which provides 14.8%, despite the U.S. having a larger economy. U.S. and NATO officials told CNN that other NATO members are expecting to make up for the shortfall. Well, there you go. So Trump got what he wanted. And it's not like this is not that big of a deal, That's right, everybody. Christ light, hello. She is running. Did I not call it? She's on Howard Stern. On H.A. Goodman's other channel, I'll do the nauseating recap of, oh my God, the questions she was. Oh my God. So, Trump has long slammed NATO allies, particularly Germany, for not meeting 2% NATO defense spending, which only 8 of 29 members currently meet. All members pledged to reach the 2% level by 2024, but not all of them currently have plans to do so. So all members, this is why Trump is needed in this day and age. All members pledged to reach the 2% level by 2024, but not all of them have plans to do so. It's like, what good is a pledge? This was why they're like, the Paris Treaty is so important. Yeah, well, they're all going to just say they'll do something and they won't do it. Member countries have boosted defense spending considerably in recent years, something Trump has claimed credit for. It's true. It's true. So, we used to spend close to a quarter, now it's going to be 16%. NATO doesn't exist without the United States of America. So, what's the big deal? What's the problem? They make everything into this grandiose, like, oh my God, the world is laughing at us. I don't care what the world thinks. And not the entire world is not laughing at us. There are a great many leaders, great many people around the world who like Trump. It's the lofty, scholarly, oftentimes ivory tower people who can't stand Trump. So it's like, so let's see here. So Trudeau admits to talking about Trump after president calls him two-faced. It's so funny. It's so funny. I knew there was going to be there's definitely going to, one thing about Trump, he hits back. And they can't stand it. They can't stand the fact that he hits back. They cannot stand it. They can't stand the fact that he hits back. It's really hilarious. So then President Trump calls Trudeau two-faced. And then you get the New York Times, one of the journalists, can't get over this video, both the fact that POTUS can't stand the thought of anyone laughing at him, or the fact that he has long used, quote, other countries as laughing at us, as an attack against his predecessors. So what? Oh my goodness, so what? They love to just, they try to cut down Trump, they try to cut Trump down to size, but it doesn't ever work. It doesn't ever work. It actually just makes Trump even more, it makes Trump even more influential. So Trump abruptly cancels NATO news conference after summit turns sour. And he starts talking, Trump goes after all of these. He said something to Macron that I can't actually repeat here, which is kind of hilarious. It's so hilarious. It's so hilarious. And they don't know what to do with them. He's like, oh my God, this isn't business as usual. That's exactly why he won. That is exactly why he won. That's exactly why he's going to defeat Clinton again. Again. He's going to defeat Clinton again. They don't get it. They do not get it. They don't understand. They actually, it's kind of like They're playing a video game where they have no idea, like, what the rules of the video game are. They have no clue. They're just there, like, pressing buttons. And they can't seem to understand why people enjoy this video game. It's like, you don't get it, do you? You're not in on it. Then you get Clinton with the public relations remake. And what did I say? I said for a long time. I mean, if you watch this channel, I said she has to go on Howard Stern. And she went on Howard Stern. Okay? I swear to God, I think they're like listening. I think the Clinton campaign might be listening to my rambling. So this is CNBC. Trump abruptly cancels. It's never just cancels. Abrupt. Oh, my God. He abruptly cancels NATO news conference after summit turns sour. Oh, it's so sour. Before it was sweet, and now it's sour. President Donald Trump on Wednesday abruptly canceled a news conference that was scheduled to cap a contentious trip to the UK for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization's 70th. It's the 70th anniversary meeting. And Trump's like, nah, no, wrong, nope, don't like it. So hilarious. The presser was scheduled to come after a series of bilateral meetings with NATO members, including Angela Merkel and Giuseppe Conte. Hours before it was set to start, video emerged of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau caught on a hot mic, apparently mocking Trump. This is what he said. This is what's so lame. He's like, "Oh my God!" And Trump spent 40 minutes on this. I guess it was like a brief press conference that was supposed to be 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I don't know. And then he turned it into like a 40-minute session. Big deal. So then Trudeau said something like, "Oh, his advisors, their jaws just dropped." And it's like, so what? So what? They make this big deal about everything. So what? President Trump on Wednesday abruptly canceled a press conference that was scheduled to cap a contentious trip. So when today's meetings are over, I'll be heading back to Washington. We won't be doing a press conference at the close of NATO because we did so many over the past 2 days. Sex travels to all! Exclamation point, Trump said. Before, like any other American president, and this is what the hilarious thing is, any other American president would have been like, "Oh, this is a really wonderful day. We are very strong, everyone. And don't worry, we'll come to your defense if anyone messes with you. Don't worry, France and Germany and Canada, which nobody will ever mess with Canada ever, or Mexico, because that ain't happening. Of the Monroe Doctrine, and it ain't gonna happen. We will come to your defense. This is the establishment president, and everything's gonna be fine." And Trump's like, "Nah, you know what? You talked about me. I'm out. You're two-faced. I'm out. Nah, sorry. Nah. Go ahead. Start talking. You know what about me? Sandiford! He's not presidential, but Trump gets results. Exactly. I mean, that's the issue. Michael Moorhead. Gabba gabba hey. That's right. Get out of the climate. Get out of the climate accord today. Why the U.S. withdrawal from the Paris Climate Accord is a mistake. This is what I don't like about people like, "Oh my God, we have to be in the Paris Climate Accord." Oh my God. Okay. President Obama presided over the largest expansion of domestic oil and gas production. So it's always like, on April 1st, 2016, the United States and China, which together represented almost 40% of global emissions, issued a joint statement confirming both countries would sign the Paris Climate Agreement. The odds of other countries that are trying to grow rapidly and trying to achieve the economic success or the economic standards that we've achieved, the odds of them abiding by the treaty are slim to none. And it's hypocritical for us to say, well, we've achieved a certain level of economic success, and you know what, you have to as well. And something like China alone emits more CO2 than the entire European Union, something like that. So China more CO2 than EU and US. So hold on one second. So China, this is Forbes, July 1st, 2018. China emits more carbon dioxide than the US and EU combined. So I think multilateral agreements are good. They are important. But you can't simply say, oh my God, Pilgrim Driver, when will the clown show end, AJ? No, it's just beginning. Pilgrim Driver, it is just beginning. Oh my God. My God, it is just beginning. The fun's just starting. The fun is just starting. I mean, when you have Hillary Clinton on Howard Stern, anything's possible. Anything's possible. The fun is just starting. I'm going to do a whole bunch of segments on H.A. Goodman's other channel, one of which will be right after this segment on Howard Stern and Madam Secretary. But yeah, the interesting thing is that, so watch Trudeau, Macron, and Johnson appear to gossip about Trump on Hot Mic. So it's just like high school. And then Trump, he's two-faced before adding, I find him to be a very nice guy, but the truth is I called him out on the fact that he's not paying 2%. I guess he's not happy about it. Trump has long griped about NATO members paying less than their fair share. It's true, towards the alliance. And brought up the issue repeatedly over the 2-day anniversary meeting this week. It's true. He's right. If they can't even abide by their NATO commitments, what makes anyone think they're going to abide by the Paris climate commitments and all these? You do need, look, you need the United Nations, you need NATO, fine. But the Paris Treaty, there are a whole bunch of obstacles, a whole bunch of economic issues that have to be discussed. Namely, you are promising to do something economically that others might not fulfill. So other people might have to break their promises or their commitments to fulfill economic goals. So you're banking on others abiding by their commitments when you're looking right now, they're not even abiding by the commitments regarding national security, like military issues. They're not even paying their fair share in NATO. But that's the Paris Accord. That's a whole other issue. They don't get it too. Like, it's really interesting. The journalists are like, oh my God, what did Biden say today? They're like, the world's laughing at us. Biden releases video on NATO leaders' hot mic laughing at Trump. Okay. Why would that be? This is hilarious. Joe Biden, the world is laughing at... No, well, actually, the world's laughing at you, Biden. The world is laughing at President Trump. They see him for what he really is. incompetent and incapable of world leadership. Really, the first president to step foot in North Korea and begin a series of détente. Begin détente and a path towards peace between North and South Korea. Like, why should we? This is so funny. Biden presided over a failed NATO intervention that resulted in the destruction of Libya, which exacerbated a whole bunch of issues faced by regions of the world that are in chaos right now. So it's really interesting to see the lack of awareness. And that's another reason why President Obama lost. By Clinton lost. Because in terms of foreign policy, she hasn't had a foreign policy decision that ever worked out. Not a vote that ever worked out. She voted alongside Bush, Rumsfeld, and Cheney. And then she added new issues and problems. And she said, we came, we saw. And then another statement that I can't say now on YouTube. So, Joe Biden, the world is laughing at President Trump. No, they're laughing at you because you fought cornflakes. And you bragged about it. And then you talked about sunscreen on your legs. And everyone laughed at that. The world is laughing at President Trump. They see him for what he is, incompetent and incapable of world leadership. Clinton wanted to ring China with missile defense to address North Korea. Trump literally began a path towards peace between North and South Korea, where even the Moon Jae-in of South Korea stated that he should win the Nobel Peace Prize. So, and he wants to scale back U.S. foreign policy. So, it ain't going to be Biden. It's going to be Clinton versus Biden. But if it was in some alternate universe, if it were ever Biden versus Trump, he would obliterate. It would be one of the largest electoral college victories ever. It would be like a Nixon-Reagan type of landslide. And they know this. Why do you think Clinton is on Howard Stern? Why on earth do you think Clinton's on Howard Stern? All right. Well, there you go. Hillary for 2050. Oh, that's funny. You know, you look at, there's nothing worse that Trump has ever done or said compared to the failed NATO intervention led by President Obama, Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden. In fact, I don't know if this is apocryphal, but I either read this someplace or heard this. I think it was in The Hill. Like, Joe Biden and President Obama did not want to engage in the NATO intervention in Libya, and Clinton was the deciding factor. She said, yes, let's go ahead with it. That didn't work out well. That's why, by the way, Margaret Thatcher is not in her book, Gutsy Women. Now, the reason Margaret Thatcher is not in her book is Margaret Thatcher was a very successful British Prime Minister, first female British Prime Minister, extremely successful. They called her the Iron Lady, and she represents everything Clinton. She represented everything Clinton is not. You never heard Margaret Thatcher. It doesn't matter if you like her policies or not. You look at Margaret Thatcher's tenure, and there might be something to be said regarding how quickly her economic policies were implemented, which hurt certain parts of the UK more than others. But in terms of the UK's stature in the world and what she did for her country, she was a brilliant leader, politician. When she spoke, it was not just eloquent. Thatcher wasn't just eloquent. She was extreme. She was brilliant. She was brilliant. When Clinton speaks, it's like I want to bang my head on the wall, and like there's nothing. They talk about Trump. There's nothing that Madam Secretary has ever said where I'm like, wow, I never thought of things that way. Pilgrim Driver. Used to listen to Stern every day, no mas. I used to listen to Howard Stern all the time growing up. All the time in my 20s. All the time. When he had that show that was sponsored by Snapple. I remember when Snapple was first coming. Remember Snapple? But they called Thatcher the Iron Lady. Well, all you get from Clinton is the Russians, and then she blamed Bernie Sanders also, and she said, the Russians, the indictments of the Russians, like, so what? They were indicted based on CrowdStrike. The Mueller team indicted Russian intelligence officers for hacking into the DNC. Well, number one, Madam Secretary should explain why Debbie Wasserman Schultz resigned in disgrace. The DNC emails proved that Democrats were cheating Bernie Sanders. Okay, it was never fair or neutral. They always tipped the scales towards Clinton. And they were always, whether it was the superdelegates or giving debate questions or working with media or trying to conspire different ways to defeat Bernie Sanders. And there were people who were trying to paint him as an atheist just so Clinton could win certain states. That's not what a political party is supposed to do. Now, they tried to kind of cheat. They thought about, let's put it this way, they thought about cheating. Trump, but they knew better. They knew better. They knew better. Because they realized if they cheat Trump, it's game over. But with Democrats, the way they work is they don't mind cheating people as long as they don't mind cheating people because they know that at the end of the day, everyone's going to fall in line, especially for Clinton. If they knew that people wouldn't fall in line, they wouldn't cheat. That's the whole point of not voting. When I was explaining, that's the whole point of not voting Democrat. Because if you engage in certain tactics that are underhanded and insidious, tactics that you have to actually blame Russia for informing the public about. If you engage in those tactics, you do so knowing you can get away with them. But if Democrats believed, hey, you know what? If we cheat Bernie Sanders, no one's going to vote for us. They wouldn't have. He should have become nominee in 2016. That was a year where Americans wanted a populist message. There was even though Bernie Sanders became a doormat of the Democratic Party, there was actual energy and enthusiasm and electricity when he spoke. And all of that was just extinguished. The flame, the passion, everything was just extinguished. So, but that's the thing. They don't get the interesting thing is the reason people like Trump is directly correlated to the reasons Democrats don't like Trump. That's what the Democratic Party doesn't understand that. They don't get that. They don't get that at all. So, and then there's a cyber reality. This cyber reality is hilarious. They live in their own cyber reality. That's why when Clinton actually runs, don't know when she will, but she will. She's on the Howard Stern show for a reason. There is no reason, zero reason why Clinton would go on the Howard Stern show if not to simply rebrand herself as, oh yeah. I mean, she's talking. They asked questions regarding who she dated in high school. I mean, are you kidding? Why do I need to know this? Why does anyone need to know this? By the way, I am not on Twitter, just to let you know. Not on Twitter. Not on Facebook. But it's going to be really social media is going to be a really unhealthy place. When Clinton decides to run, it'll be a really, really unhealthy place. Like a super unhealthy place. Pilgrim Driver, I was in the UK when Thatcher sent them to the Falklands. Oh, wow. Wow. Pilgrim Driver, thank you. Let's see. Let's type in Joe Biden. See what's going on there. The world is laughing at President Trump. So what? I'd rather have the world laughing at Trump and us not destroying a nation and a country like we did with the failed NATO intervention under President Obama. But see, Democrats literally don't care. They're like, well, it happens. These things happen. That, by the way, should have been an impeachable offense, not a phone conversation. What has the United States done for the people they claim to help with the intervention? The whole point of the NATO intervention was to help people. But Nano Horizon, who do you think is dropping out next? The Democratic hopeful still feel like a ball pit. It might be Senator Cory Booker. It might be Klobuchar. Who knows? It might be, I don't know. Although Amy Klobuchar seems to have, it's funny. Like she has 4% in the polls, 3% in the polls. Not that these polls mean anything, but she still has the money to get to Iowa. I think that after Iowa, I mean, you're looking. These people are running out of money already. So Nano Horizon, they're already running out of money. They're already running out of money. Eric H526, you could be right on that. They're already running out of money, so who cares? The president the world is laughing at? How can you laugh at a person who was the first president to step foot in North Korea and the first president to begin a peace process between North and South Korea? Okay? That is it. It's the first time. It was the first time ever the two leaders embraced, had some kind of dialogue. And that was because of Trump's foreign policy. It was also just because of Trump. That would never have happened with Clinton. It didn't happen with President Obama, or certainly didn't happen with Bush. And this is a guy who Biden, everything he says is not only cringeworthy, but also hilarious. And people laugh at. And then he's saying, oh, they laugh at Trump. It's like, you know what? The one thing about Trump is that he's not going to act in the same manner that other people have acted. That's why he gets the results that nobody else has gotten. So you can look at his achievement with North Korea. You could look at the fact that he wants to scale back U.S. foreign policy. You can also look at the controversies where there's Uranium One that gave money into the Clinton Foundation. Why? Nobody has ever explained why. And then President Obama didn't veto the sale. I see Amy sticking it out like some lefty Kasich. Sandiford. Probably. Probably. The issue, the funny thing with Democrats is like, they love to harp and criticize and pontificate, but when they're in the executive branch, it's failure after failure, whether it's a NATO intervention, and they act in a hypocritical manner. So they talk about climate change, and you have the largest expansion of domestic oil and gas production under President Obama, and then they talk about climate change. It's like, well, when you had the White House, you engaged in economic activity that's the antithesis of the Green New Deal. And then you're going to lecture, but they don't see it. They're like, "Oh, it's whataboutism." Whataboutism? Yeah, it's called whataboutism. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. So Joe Biden hammers Trump over video of world leaders mocking him. That's why people vote Trump. You don't want, when Trudeau is like, "Oh my God," and their jaws were dropping. That's what you don't want, a leader that just fits in, the typical establishment type that fits in and does what every other world leader wants. Especially, look, the thing with President Trump is that he wants a scaled back U.S. foreign policy. That's why he's special. It's not like they try to say he's belligerent and he's an authoritarian. No, he's not. You're not going to find an authoritarian who signs prison reform legislation and wants to remove soldiers from regions of the world and lessen military intervention, not increase. He wants to lessen our involvement in military entanglements and quagmires. He wants to scale back U.S. foreign policy. It's a very difficult, because the way Democrats think, like, so what? We can have less military quagmires and record low unemployment, or we don't have to deal with his personality. Exactly. They're all lemmings. They just want, like, do you want an American president that really that Macron and Trudeau would be proud of? I don't. But not, I mean, in a good way. I like Trump because he does things out of the ordinary, but they always lead to results. Even the tariffs. If you look at, there's a $400 billion trade deficit with China. He's addressing those with tariffs. Unions for years, even unions in Europe, have long lobbied for tariffs against China. Different types of tariffs to address the unfair trade practices, all this, whatever. And so Trump actually engages in this because in 10 years or 20 years, 30 years, China will be the number one economy by far, followed by India, and will be third. And that imbalance would grow to $1 trillion. Teresa King! Thank you, Teresa. Hope all is well. Teresa King, thank you. So let's see. I'm going to do a segment on H.A. Goodman's other channel right after this on Hillary Clinton and Howard Stern. But let's just... This is hilarious. Hillary Clinton goes on Howard Stern's show for first time. She's running, everyone. Oh, what's this? Let's see. So, hold on one second. Let's see. All right, so let's see. Hillary Clinton drops his biggest hint yet. She's mulling a 2020 presidential run. Yes! Oh, my God, yes. All right, so the strongest indicator yet that Hillary's mulling a 2020 run, she appeared Wednesday for the first time ever on Howard Stern. There was hardly a pretense. She was there to promote the book she co-authored with her daughter. Yeah, look. It's a book on gutsy women where she doesn't even put Margaret Thatcher because she knows that Margaret Thatcher embodies everything she doesn't. So she's like, eh. Anyway, all those who listen to the show, Stern publicly begged Hillary to appear during the 2016 campaign. As those who listen to the show, after Donald Trump won, Stern said one guest should have made her way. Okay, if she had come on the show, Stern mused in May. The way I helped Donald was I let him come on and be a personality, whether you liked him or not. People relate to him as a human being. That's true, but that didn't work. That didn't really work with this. Because, like she's talking about gossip with George W. Bush. Like, no one says, oh my God, what did Bush say about Trump? What did Trudeau say about Trump? All of this helps Trump in a way, but it's like, this is kind of hilarious. Hillary, it's clear, was after exactly that, relatability. One can only ask, why now she has no plans to run yet again? Sure, it's possible she just loves being part of the national conversation. No way. There's no way she just wants to be part of a national conversation. KSNF, number one fan, thank you. Thank you, KSNF. Thank you so very much. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching. KSNF, thank you. Sandiford, the strongest indicator is she's still... Exactly. Sandiford. KSNF, thank you so very much. So... But all the venues such as serious stateswomen could choose, one whose public presentation has been so carefully cultivated over decades, really, Howard Stern, she hasn't closed the door on 2020. Just this past weekend, during an appearance on the UK Graham Norton show, Hillary says she's been deluged. Yeah, right. With pleas to run again. Yeah, by me. She's been deluged by me, because I'm their biggest fan in YouTube. Trust me, in all of media. I'd have to make up my mind really quickly because it's moving very fast. Yeah, the lotion on Biden's leg hair is moving very fast. And perhaps late Michael Bloomberg, Stern was an able ally, allowing Hillary to expound her ability to work across the aisle. There's not, the Republicans don't want to work with her. Yes! It's happening. My prediction is happening. Yes, Jim Jordan's really going to work with her. Where is this? Oh, now I can't find it. Okay, hold on. Okay. Her support for, advising the president. Oh, such good advice. Her plans for the first 100 days as president. Get us into major quagmires. And her concern for the future of our country. Yeah, you bet your bottom dollar that she'll have a private server in the White House. That should be fun. If I had lost to a normal Republican, I wouldn't have a pit in my stomach. Oh, yes, you would. If you lost to Jeb Bush, oh my God. Yeah, you definitely don't you. If I had lost to a normal Republican, yeah, that's why he won, because a normal Republican wouldn't have had record low unemployment, signed the First Step Act, and also achieved a roadmap towards peace between North and South Korea. That's what Trump did. And he's scaling back U.S. foreign policy. That's what a normal Republican wouldn't do. That's why he won. Given this was Stern, truly one of our best interviewers, we've got some gems. Contrary to what oh my God, Hillary says she likes men. Okay. That's good. No, I'm not going to get into that. Okay, so amazing. George Stephan, take notes. Hillary, laughing again, said no. And went on to discuss from her mother's... Okay. To whether she's been in therapy too. No marriage, but marriage counseling. She went to marriage counseling post-Lewinsky. Interesting. Wow, this is just like Trump's... wow, this is just as fun as Trump's conversation. Like, no. Juanito Moon! I'm actually kind of excited for HFC to run again. Yes! Yes! Juanito Moon. Me too. It's going to be awesome. It is going to be so great in so many ways. It is going to be so great in so many ways. Thank you, Juanito Moon. Thank you for always watching. So, to the true charisma that she lacks, but her husband... and President Obama, she really admits her friendship with Mick Jagger? Really? She has a friendship? No, I doubt it. Never has Hillary Clinton sounded more relaxed, conversational, and yes, human. Well, oh yeah, it's happening. Didn't I say it would happen this way? She sounded like anyone you may know. No, I don't know anyone like that. I actually love this article, by the way. None of Howard's verbiage left her flummoxed. Hillary proved she could hang. Not really, but... Howard's listeners agreed, flooding the airways after she left. She moved me to tears, said one female listener. I'm about to cry now. Do you know how tears of joy I would have? Oh, my God. I will have. Let me tell you something. Like, I'll be like, I wrote in 2017 in the Huffington Post. I predicted it. It'll be tears of joy and happiness. Are you kidding? Arya Lee, thank you. Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah. This is so great. It's happening. Oh, my God. I knew this would happen, but to see it slowly happen is hilarious. I did 3 years ago vote for Trump, but if she had come on during the election, my vote would have swung 150%. That, I don't believe that. I'm conservative. I couldn't stand Hillary. This interview changed my mind. I don't think that at all, but whatever. I wanted to say, she should really, like, oh my God, this is so great. I think you were right, she said. I did not prioritize the media the way I should have. I think that was a miscalculation. I really do. And who, Howard Stern asked, will she be supporting? Whoever can win. Which means her, because she can only win. Get it? It sounds like she thinks that's her. I love this article, by the way. Great article. Great article by Maureen Callahan in the New York Post. Oh my God, it's a great article. Oh my God, it's such a great article. This is the best. Oh. You know what? I'm just going to spend all night and not even sleep just watching Howard Stern and Hillary. That's the best thing ever. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's see here. Oh, she's running, folks. Well, I knew she was, but to see it, it's just so... Oh, my God. This is so great. Hillary. Oh, my God. you should see how this is written up now. They're trying to make her... You can't there are certain people you can't rehabilitate. Al Gore being one of them. The incredibly lifelike Al Gore. If you lose to Baby Bush, big problem. Big problem in life. Big problem. Trump could barely talk after Hillary Clinton offered to help him as president. What help? Are you kidding? This is Business Insider. What? What? To give her advice on foreign policy, which is non-existent? To give her advice on how to keep foreign private servers with top secret intel away from the intelligence community? Oh my God, I'm worried, but I'm going to do everything I can, as I told him. Yeah, right? Who believes this? This is hilarious. Oh my God, so she actually said that she was going to help Trump. What? Her husband never achieved anything. The economic record, that there's record low unemployment, record highs in the stock market. I don't know when the last time that happened, and it wasn't during President Trump. It wasn't during Clinton's administration. And they presided over mass incarceration. Trump just signed the First Step Act. So it's like, that's really hilarious. That is really hilarious. All right, ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Thank you so very much. I don't know who Clinton's VP will be. I have no clue. I really, really don't. Could be Stacey Abrams. Could be Elizabeth Warren. I'm not sure. I think it'll probably be a woman. So I can't imagine her bringing on a man. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. God bless. I will see you tomorrow. And check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. I have a great one that I'm going to upload on Clinton and Howard Stern. Thank you very much, everyone. It's happening. It is happening, people. It is happening.